What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing good. I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and welcome to Wrestling with Rumors. Welcome, everyone. So, before I get into everything that will be Wrestling with Rumors this week, like I say every week, every rumor that I am about to read to you is exactly what it is. It is a rumor. We can speculate as wildly as we want, but until that rumor or rumors are proven true, fact, we see it happening on TV, they remain what they are, rumors. So with that said, let's get into a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. All right, so up first, regarding the story of WWE being unable to reach Andrade for weeks prior to his release, PW Insider says he traveled to South America and wasn't in the US while they were trying to contact him. There's really nothing really to be said about that rumor. This is really a rumor that I'll just kind of just let leave. I think we all have, by now, I think we all have a pretty good idea, a pretty good idea about exactly how things went down between WWE and Andrade in those weeks leading up to what would have been his eventual, release from WWE. Everything that went down. I'm just gonna move on. Bodyslam.net notes that Ray Phoenix creative is being discussed now that Andrade has exited WWE, and one idea out there right now is a reunion with Penta. So I guess going back to the Andrade thing for a little bit, the creative was that and I said this wrong, and I'm bringing this up now, but I said this wrong when I was talking about Andrade and the last time we saw him. The last time we saw Andrade on WWE TV, it wasn't at Clash in Paris. That was my mistake. And I should have known that because I watched Clash in Paris, so I should have known that because it was the Street Profits. Anyway, so but after what was supposed to happen creatively between Ray Phoenix and Andrade as a tag team was they were supposed to win that match against the Street Profits, and they were supposed to go to Clash in Paris to face the Wyatt Six, and that didn't happen. And now they have to change creative direction for Ray Phoenix now that Andrade is no longer with the company. And I feel that the reunion between Ray Phoenix and Penta, it's always been like ever since Penta and Ray Phoenix came to WWE, now that they're in the company, and even though they're on different brands, the idea was that it wasn't a question of if we see them as the Lucha Brothers again, but it was really when. And it feels like that question of when is going to be answered. We will see. We are coming towards the end of September. We are really in the last full week of September. As in next week, there's like a half a week of September, and then by the time we get to Wednesday, we are in October. So next week, not this week. This is the last full week. But I feel, and I'm waiting for, we haven't really heard anything of the draft, and it really feels like there might not be a draft, that trades just kind of happen in the background, and we just get surprised when one superstar is on one brand and on another kind of thing, and all of a sudden this NXT superstar is now on Raw or SmackDown kind of thing. I hope they do the draft. I guess we'll see if October will be the month for it, but anyway, I guess the idea would either to have either Ray Phoenix or Penta come to either Raw or SmackDown. I could see Ray Phoenix coming to Raw and then having the Lucha Brothers as a tag team on Raw, and then as a tag team, they going after Judgment Day for those tag team titles. I could see that. That would be pretty cool. So wait and see, and keep the eyes and ears open, and we'll see how that looks in the coming weeks, if not months. In an interview with the Sandman podcast, Toni Storm claimed she's not thinking about a WWE return and wouldn't consider it if it was possible. She's a lifer at AEW and her deal doesn't expire until around 2027. But when she's done with AEW, she's done for good. Absolutely. I think what Toni Storm is doing in AEW are things I don't think she would have been doing in WWE. The timeless character is just some of her best work. And in all honesty, when she was in WWE, that championship match she had years ago on SmackDown against Charlotte Flair, that should have been her moment to have won that WWE Women's Championship at that time. But what she's doing in AEW is some of her best work, and it's work I don't think she would have ever done in WWE. And I can say that for a lot of the AEW talent that was once in WWE. A lot of things that are happening now, besides with Toni Storm, I would say the same for Swerve Strickland, for Christian, for Adam Copeland. I think a lot of this stuff that's happening in AEW right now with them are things I don't think that would have happened with them in WWE. So that's amazing, and I think that's great. And that's the beautiful thing about being able to is having the options of going from one promotion to another, is that sometimes there are things that happen, even like with Mercedes Moné, who were all in WWE one time and then go to another promotion. They're able to do things that they never would have been able to do in WWE, or things that even WWE themselves probably would have think of. And that's the same for those who once were wrestling in AEW or are now in WWE. There are things that AEW probably would have never thought of, or things in AEW they would have never gotten to do, that they are doing now in WWE. It works both ways, and that's the beautiful thing about having those options from not just the professional wrestlers who are able to go from one promotion to another and be able to try new things and see what works and what doesn't work, and things that other promotions might have never even thought of or wouldn't be able to do. That's the beautiful thing. But it's also a beautiful thing for us, the fans, to have these options of these wrestling promotions for us to watch, like WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Just to touch on the tribalism thing a little bit, it makes no sense to have the tribalism thing. If you like one company, there's nothing wrong with that. That's beautiful. If you love that company and you're loyal to that company, you love it as a fan, great. But you don't need to dig down on the other promotion, on the other company, and say that they suck and all that stuff and just badmouth them like some professional wrestlers do. And I don't think that's good. I think it's better to just allow things to be and allow people to be happy with what they like, instead of like pushing it down or dragging it down, trying to drag it down and saying all this bad shit about it. It should be uplifting and just be like all cool and stuff. I mean, I know that's usually not how it works, and it is how it is, especially in a world of competition. And there's nothing wrong with good, healthy competition. But I know I got way off track about this thing with Toni Storm, and I just went off into the tribalism and all the other stuff here. But it all really fits into this with Toni Storm and her being a lifer at AEW, and it just, all of it for her makes sense, and everything else I said, at least how I'm putting it, makes sense. But we will move on. In a weekly guest column on Uncrowned, and I hope I'm saying this last name right, Scott D'Amore said there are rumors WWE will only hold one WrestleMania night in Saudi Arabia and hold the other in the United States. This wouldn't be a first time WWE has done a WrestleMania not in like two separate states. I mean, not in like one in the United States and one in a different country. They have done a WrestleMania where they did like one in one state, one in another, and one in another. I think it was WrestleMania 2, I believe, where they did it in like 3 different stadiums. Like they did one in Los Angeles, one in Chicago, and I can't think of the other. I can't think of the third. I can't remember the third one. I mean, it was WrestleMania 2. And I didn't come into pro wrestling until WrestleMania 3. But to look back at it, I believe it was, I think it was WrestleMania 2 where Vince got very ambitious with it and decided to do it like different. So it's not the first time they've done that. But if that's the case, and if that's the case for this, like they'll do like WrestleMania night 1 would be in Saudi Arabia, and then say like WrestleMania night 2 would like be somewhere in like I don't know, like New Orleans or please not Vegas. Not again, but like say like New Orleans or Chicago or Los Angeles, something like that. I mean, that could be a possibility. Instead of doing 2 nights in Saudi Arabia, they do 1 night. So they do everything for WrestleMania week in Saudi Arabia, but like say like they do, or like even like night 2 would be in Saudi Arabia, and say like night 1 would be like say, let's just say New Orleans. So like you would do Stand and Deliver and night 1 of WrestleMania in like New Orleans, and then cut to night 2, and night 2 is in Saudi Arabia, kind of thing. If they do it like that, that'd be cool. I mean, granted, it's still WrestleMania will still be in Saudi Arabia, so that kind of checks that box for those in Saudi Arabia and that. But yeah, they could do that, or even if they decided to not do a night 2 in the United States, but do a second night in another country, like England. Like they go to London and they do night 2. I mean, that would be cool too. But I think if they were to do a WrestleMania in London, which is never off the table, it's going to happen. I believe it's going to happen. They would do both nights. I think they do the whole deal in London. You know, they do the NXT Stand and Deliver. They do both night 1 and night 2, Hall of Fame. All of it would be in London, if they were to do that. But as far as this, I would think I would think that if they were to do it like that, night 2 would be Saudi Arabia, and night 1 would be like, if they were to do it in a city like here in the U.S., it would be like, for example, like New Orleans, all of that. But we got some time before we know anything about like what's going on with WrestleMania. We still got this WrestleMania. We still got WrestleMania next year to look at. So and that's in Las Vegas again. And it's not the first time they've gone back to back on WrestleManias. But we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. We have to give it some time to see how they go. So we'll have to wait like till like 27 before we get we'll have to wait till like 27 before we get like a really good idea how all of this is going to play out. According to WrestleVotes Radio, WWE is running a double taping of SmackDown on November 22nd in Denver. The idea is to give talent and production crew off on Black Friday, November 28th, the day after Thanksgiving. I like that idea. Give them an extra day after Thanksgiving. That's all I can really say. I just love that idea. I hope this is one of those rumors. I really hope it's true, that they get an additional day off, just to cool out, hang out. Yeah, I really hope this is true. I really hope this rumor is true, because, you know, as hard as everyone from those who are in the squared circle to those in the production, everyone works their asses off. And when you get to the holidays, just to have that extra day, that'd just be dope. Especially since if they give them the 28th off, that gives them that extra day just to cool out and hang out before Survivor Series the following day. So I hope they really do that. The outlet also heard that WWE might schedule another AAA streaming event on the weekend of Survivor Series November 29th in San Diego. On a related note, WWE is planning for Rey Mysterio to play a major role in AAA once he's ready to return to the ring. I really firmly believe one of those major roles in AAA for Rey Mysterio is to have that father-son match against Dominic for that AAA Mega Championship. I really believe that match is going to happen. It just felt like it felt like it probably didn't seem like it at the time, but it felt like seeds were definitely planted for the running back one more time, but for the AAA Mega Championship between Dominic and Rey Mysterio. I really hope that happens. I would love to see that match, and it would be a great opportunity for Rey Mysterio for the first time to win that AAA Mega Championship. So 100. I hope so. I really hope so on that one. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, TKO didn't allow fans to attend WWE's huge announcement about WrestleMania 43 being in Saudi Arabia because they didn't want any boos to overshadow the news, which could have caused the real press in town to ask real questions about it. No kidding. I mean, the backlash, the how people felt about a lot of people's first reaction to hearing that WrestleMania 43 was going to be in Saudi Arabia and not somewhere, say, like London, which is where people really want to see WrestleMania. They want that WrestleMania in London. That's the big international one, London. And the fact that Saudi Arabia got it, of course, the reactions were not going to be good. And the press would have asked these kind of questions, and it would have definitely gotten political in some form, in some way. It would have definitely gotten some political questions out of that. So yeah, I don't blame WWE for not bringing fans in for that announcement because of the kind of issues they didn't want in that moment, especially with the Crown Prince there. I totally understand it. I do. But they still had to feel it. I mean, they mostly had to feel it through social media, and through social media, I'm sure they can handle it a little bit better with social media. But still, they got it, and it may have quieted down a little bit now. But by the time we get to 2027 and we start talking WrestleMania, it's going to get loud again for sure. This will do it for the rumor part of Wrestling with Rumors, which is the main part. Before I go, just want to touch on one thing. This Tuesday, NXT, the final NXT before No Mercy, we've got we got a good championship match. It's a title for title. It's the TNA Championship versus the NXT Championship, winner take all. We got Oba Femi, Trick Williams. I wanted to give my prediction for this match because this is a very interesting match, and especially the seeds that were planted at NXT Homecoming last Tuesday of how a lot of the NXT talent reacted to the announcement of that match with the on social media, and how WWE posted that and stuff. We're planting the seeds here, boy. Remember, everything counts. It's like Sam Roberts always says, everything counts. So here we go. My prediction for this is that we're going to get into this match. It's going to go like a regular match at first, but this match is going to end in either a double countout or in a disqualification. I'm leaning more towards this match is going to end in a DQ, so that so that there's no real winner in this match. You got Trick Williams holding on to that TNA championship at the end of that match, and you got Oba Femi holding on to his championship at the end of that match. There's no championships being changed at all. It's gonna stay exactly. It's just gonna end in a DQ because at Bound for Glory, Mike Santana is walking away with that TNA championship. Absolutely, I'm feeling it for him. I know I said at Slammiversary was going to be the one where Trick Williams loses, and I was wrong, and I'm sitting here telling you I was wrong, and I'm really feeling Bound for Glory for Trick Williams is going to lose at Bound for Glory. If I'm wrong again twice, I'll say it. I'll proudly say it. And I really feel this Saturday at NXT No Mercy, I'm really feeling it for Ricky Saints. I really believe Ricky Saints is going to be the one to take down the ruler and become the new NXT champion. I really believe that. If I'm wrong, I will say I'm wrong. But it feels good. It feels like when we get to NXT No Mercy, it will be we'll have two new champions that I can see. That's Lola Vice as the new NXT Women's Champion, and it's Ricky Saints with the NXT Championship. I feel like those are our two new champions. By the time we get to No Mercy and at the end of No Mercy, I feel like those are our two new champs. And as far as Bound for Glory goes, which is in October, Mike Saints, definitely. Mike Santana, absolutely. Mike Santana is going to be the new NXT. It's going to be the new TNA champion, absolutely. And side note, also for Bound for Glory, I'm looking forward to that. The one last time between the Hardys and the Dudleys. I don't even really care who wins that match. That's just going to be a great, fun match to watch one last time. But I'll get into that, more into that a little bit later. For now, this has been Wrestling with Rumors. I appreciate all of you for sticking with me, for listening. Lot to look forward to in the coming weeks in pro wrestling, on no matter where you're watching it. Lots to look forward to. And we're here. It's fall. Summer's no longer here. And we got a fun fall season of pro wrestling to look forward to, whether it's WWE, whether it's NXT, whether it's TNA, whether it's AEW. No matter where it is, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to all of it. And I appreciate all of you. Have a good, fun week. Be safe out there. And of course, don't forget to take care of yourselves. I will see you on the next one. Peace, y'all.